Hello to everyone, my name is Grega and welcome to our new video analysis. This time I will talk about cryptocurrencies. I will focus mainly on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But before we go to these two markets, I really want to bring attention to this US dollar, because we all know that everything is linked to the US dollar. So they're saying that if you have dollar right, you have everything right. Okay, so it's very important that always when you're looking for some investments or changes in cycles that you check the price action for the US dollar itself. And here regarding the US dollar, I'm looking at these similarities. This leg up from 2008 financial crisis is somehow similar in time and price compared to this rise up from 92. And also notice that price is currently trading at this upper trend line of this parallel channel, something similar like we have seen here in this past cycle. So I would not be surprised if we see change in these cycles here in the next few months, maybe 2023, maybe later that year. So we will see. But of course, everything will depend what Fed will do. If they will slow down with the rates, I mean, we really have to consider that they have been very aggressive since February, and it means that most likely they will do only the 50% increase in December, and then even less or maybe nothing in 2023. So they are rushing towards their rate target. So we will see if this rate, if this hiking aggressive policy will be somehow confirmed by the Fed commentaries on the upcoming meetings. If that would be the case, then I believe that the US dollar or speculators will position themselves for a reversal on the markets on these cycles. Okay, so in such case, what we will see is most likely the pullback or even some sharper sell-off on the US dollar. And this is technically also somehow, I would not be surprised from my point of view. Now, looking also here at the wave count, well, this rise from 2021 lows to the recent highs is an impulsive. Of course, not really sure if the top is in place, could easily be just another fourth wave. But in either case, I think that we are in some late stages of this recovery. But regarding the US dollar, everything's comes from the US yields. So again, as I said, it will be important to track the Fed, and if they will announce that maybe they are approaching towards the end of the cycles, then of course US yields would hit resistance. And if we look now at the US yields from a technical point of view, well, notice that I can clearly count 5 waves up from this August 2021 low. So this 1 year cycle, 1 year bull run can come to an end. I see prices in a wave 5 trading at this Elliott wave channel resistance line. So normally what you would expect after a 5 wave rise is that market will come to the downside with a minimum 3 wave drop, right? So I'm not saying that we will see a sharp sell-off on the US yields, which certainly I don't think it will happen, but I just believe that somehow Fed will try to keep rates more stable, neutral, once they will reach their target. Of course, it will also depend on a lot of inflation. If the inflation will come down, then this certainly could be the case. So I think that US yields sooner or later will hit or reversal to the downside, and of course the Fed could confirm this to be the case. And when that happens, obviously it will also bring down the US dollar, which you can see here in blue. So I think that this Elliott wave patterns already suggest that we could be running in some late stages of this bull run on the US yields and the US dollar. And now if we are after this analysis, when we said that maybe later this year or maybe next year we could see a change in cycle, meaning that US dollar could come to the downside, what this means for cryptocurrencies. Well, if you look closely here, I have DXY and the Bitcoin. Obviously, they are negatively correlated, right? So what we are seeing at the moment is that if the US dollar index would really come to the downside or just stabilize for the next few months, I think that cryptocurrencies will also try to bottom. What is really significant, or what I really like about this recent price action in cryptos, is that despite this very strong move to the upside on the DXY, notice that Bitcoin was able to hold this support. So it doesn't mean that bottom has been formed here, but it likely suggests that maybe massive liquidations happened, and that sooner or later we will see some very nice support on Bitcoin from where the price could reverse to the upside. And this support, I believe, is not that far away, because, as I said, despite this recent push to the upside on DXY that we have seen, the Bitcoin did not follow to the downside. Okay. However, from a technical point of view, I still think that DXY maybe could see another retest of the lows. I'm looking here at this wave count, okay, and actually I see this as a consolidation. I'm not sure if this wave already finished here, or are we going to see another more sideways price action, then move to the downside, and then a bounce. But generally speaking, I think that sooner or later, as I said, based on the US dollar, I think that sooner or later even Bitcoin will stabilize. Okay, now the question is what you should focus on if the US dollar will come to the downside. Is this going to be Bitcoin or maybe the Ethereum? So for me, the most important is to pick the one with the clearest wave structure. So if I see US dollar coming to the downside over the next few months or in 2023, then obviously I want to look at the clear wave patterns on cryptocurrencies or coins, if you want, that has the best upside potential and have the very clear looking wave structure. And when looking at this price action Bitcoin, well, unfortunately, that's not the case. That's not really the clear price action where I want to buy and call a bottom here, because I just realized that this could easily be a triangle and we could see a final move to the downside and then a reversal. So for the short-term traders, this price action in particular, it's very tricky, not easy to trade. But from a long-term investment perspective, of course, there is a completely different approach. Some will be accumulating here, some will be aiding obviously at the different levels, but really it doesn't make any big changes in the price action itself, because overall you just want to, with the investment approach, we just want to catch the next cycle whenever this occurs. It may happen from here or from a new low. It doesn't really make a difference, because the time is just needed for these bottoms to be formed. So Bitcoin, as I said, is not that clear. What about the Ethereum? Well, let's take a look. So the Ethereum here, the Ethereum has some very nice breakout. Firstly, you can see here, we came here above this trend line, and currently we are seeing some nice increase in volume. So if we can stay in a bullish run by the end of the week, then trading above this trend line, then I would not be surprised to see more upside here. This would be very supportive then for Ethereum, in my opinion. Whenever you see prices trying to rise, forming a breakout, and then you see stable prices or even continuation, when you have this nice pickup in volume, usually this means that breakout is confirmed. Now, the next thing that I really like about the Ethereum is this recovery. Okay, so this spike to these levels, let me try to hide the wave counts here because we have just too many stuff here. Okay, notice that here we tested this do-die key support. We were tracking this support with members around the 78.6%. So when the Ethereum broke to the downside, we said that this is the very important support that must hold for the higher degree structure to remain bullish. And notice what happened. The market made some very nice reaction to the upside. And this occurred, as you can clearly see here, this occurred with very nice 5 waves. Now this is called an impulsive price action. What I also like is that we broken this trend line out. We came with the price out of this downward channel, so it means that market is most likely in a new bullish cycle. So after every 5 waves, whenever you see this structure 5 wave movement where waves 4 and waves 2 will not overlap, then you can expect more upside after a 3 wave setback. So after this correction, I think that Ethereum could see more upside. So the ideal support for the Ethereum, in my opinion, is the 61.8% and the 50%. It was a very sharp fall here, but I'm aware that this could be only wave A and you are now in a wave B rally. So still very important support, in my opinion, is here around 1,350, 1,400, around there. Also watch out these swing supports here. So that was a downtrend, right? So it was a downtrend, and then what we have seen are reversal. And notice that this previous supports, okay, was broken decisively, okay. Sorry, previous resistances, not support. So whenever this happens with an impulsive price action, okay, then normally what you want to see that the same levels will react as a support on a pullback. Okay, so watch this line here. So I'm looking for this line to be potentially retested, and ideally this will occur after this pre-wave drop. Also, this is obviously a very bullish wave pattern. Now, also, I want to show you the bearish wave count. And why I do that? Because even with different approaches, you can have some similar directions, at least for the near term. Okay, for let's say for the next few days, few weeks, few hours, maybe it depends on your time frame. So what I'm looking at here, well, I can also count a drop from August highs in 5 waves. And notice that after these 5 waves, what market should do? It should make a 3 wave counter trend movement. In that retracement, the price will either retrace to the former wave 4 as a potential resistance, but if this one is broken, then you can see a retracement or a reversal all the way back to the termination point of wave 2, which in our case is around 1800. Okay, so these 5 waves down, okay, that kind of structure should be reversed by 3 waves. And I'm tracking now and will observe this price action, this recovery must be made by 3 waves. And notice that the first leg was not in 3 waves. That was a very nice and clear impulse. So that was a 5 wave recovery, meaning that this structure belongs to a higher degree ABC recovery. So I will be looking for more upside after this pullback in wave B. So I'm bullish in this one, even if I have the bearish wave count, because that was a 5 waves down, meaning after 3 wave rally, this market should continue lower. But even with these bearish interpretations, I have in the short term, I have the same idea. I see 5 waves up in the short term chart, tracking now a counter trend movement, meaning that I will be expecting more upside. And I don't know if the next leg to the upside will be wave C, or possibly, as I showed you here, could be even wave 3, which means much more upside potential. But this is very important because I exactly know based on 2 wave counts where I'm wrong, and the invalidation level is clearly here at this October level. So as long as we are trading above that lows, I think that Ethereum has more chance to rise, especially if the US dollar will come to the downside. In such case, I think that cryptos will obviously stabilize, but Bitcoin is not my favorite choice because I said the price action itself is not very clear. It's quite ugly. The next thing I want to look at is the Ethereum versus the Bitcoin. And here you can see that price is on the rise. Okay, that's a monthly chart. So I think that there can be even more upside here coming in the next few months. Why? Because I'm tracking an impulsive bullish structure. Okay, again, impulses are made by 5 waves. Waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 3 is typically the extended leg, and wave 4 should not move into the territory of a wave 2, which in our case did not happen. Notice that we had some very nice pullback here, but not into this wave 1 or wave 2 territory. So far we have a very nice bounce, And if we think that wave 4 has finished, which certainly could be the case because of this very nice recovery since summer of this year. So if this correction is finished, what would you expect? Well, that market will break this resistance here from earlier, from earlier this year, from the start of the year actually. So it means that market could progress much higher into wave 5, and if that would be the case, then it means that Ethereum could be much better positions compared to Bitcoin. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Now, if you like our analysis or you want to see some of the more charts and get the daily updates, not only for cryptocurrencies, even for FX, we also cover on the FX. We also cover a lot of other markets, not only currencies. We have the S&P 500, crude oil, DAX, metals, and so on. So if you're interested, make sure to check our services. We have, with the coupon code trial, you get the 14 days free access to our full service. Traders, have a good day. Bye.